خير. سبحانك ربنا لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. نعوذ بك اللهم من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us, to make us sincere, to grant us beneficial knowledge, to increase our knowledge and understanding of His book. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us by the Quran and protect us the way He protected Quran. And make us guided by the Quran to Jannah. We are in Surah Al-Hijr, and we said the theme of Surah Al-Hijr is Allah's preservation. And in this surah, it's a treasure. There are 15 examples of how Allah preserved His deen, His book, and the believers. So go ahead of us and try to find those 15 places, 15 examples in the surah to show us how He utilized His own ways to preserve the deen, the Quran, and the believers. We went last time through one of them, right? Which is verse number 9, where Allah said, "Inna nahnu nazzalna al-dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun." We have sent down the dhikr, and we are preserving it by our own means and ways. And we have discovered that Quran was preserved in all of its forms. In text was preserved, where it being put in Arabic and stays there. The language, Allah selected the Arabic one to preserve the Quran in that language. Can be translated, explained, whatsoever, but that is the text being preserved by selecting that language. It was also, we realized that the Quran was preserved by the meaning, where Allah put the Muslims as scholars to watch one another. If one start deviating and putting in the Quran different meaning, we see the scholars confronting each other and bringing back the one that started to deviate from the meaning of the Quran. So scholars, basically because of the deep knowledge and attachment to the Quran, they watch one another that is going to stay on the straight path and not making false meaning attached to the Quran. And that is through the history, and that is one way to preserve the meaning of the Quran. I think we said if the scholars were agreed on the meaning of the Quran, then the Quran will be changed and things will be put into it. Take example, the Shia, where they all agree, so every day they add something, every day they put something, and this is from the Quran, and this is from Imam, and this is so on and so forth. They are going far away from really the meaning of the Quran, and the reason is that their scholars are agreed and their followers agreed. And this is exactly the same like the Catholics Church, where they all agree. So the Pope and the cardinals and those on top, also they agree to make it changes, and it go. This is what God said, this is what the Bible said. In Islam, Allah made Muslims, even Sahaba, they were watching one another. How come did you say this, what the Quran means? And they go to the Prophet ﷺ and say, is that the meaning or no? So this is one way that we are, the Muslim scholars, they are disagreeing and they are watching, keeping eyes on one another, that not to connect or attach or insert or inject into the meaning of the Quran anything that is not correct. So that is the second one. The third one, the Quran also said preserved in practice. One of these, as we heard the hadith sahih, that a group of Muslims will stay on the straight path, applying Islam the way the Sahaba did all the time, and they will exist all the time. That is the practice, how it is preserved. Muslims, maybe they practice differently, but they know they are doing wrong. None of them say a woman were not wearing hijab. None of them saying, well, hijab is just forget about it. They just feel we are weak, the problems here. Or even a Muslim drinking wine. It's still, they know they are wrong and they believe it is wrong. They know their practice is wrong, but they don't say, oh, well, that is just the opposite to the Christians. When they went to somewhere, that's what is it. Okay, gays and lesbian, then that is it. Religion and faith and Pope and Bible has to change. And the church has to change. This is the right way. When they go away, they think this is the right way. And the deen has to change and adapt to that right way. In Islam, it's not. Many Muslims do things wrong, but all agree what we are doing is wrong. It's not what Islam says. So that is how the Quran, in meaning, it's preserved. So was there anything else last time? No? Okay. So basically, Quran has another copy of it, preserved by memorization, where, as probably you heard the khutbah, if any book eliminated from earth, there is no way you can reproduce it except Quran. If they burned all copies of the Quran in the world, you can in 5 minutes preserve it and restore it by many hafiz. And people understand this is the Quran and has its own connection to the soul of human being. So that is how basically Allah said, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun," and that went last time. So we're going to start today finding another example Allah made in this surah to show us how He preserves things. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولقد أرسلنا من قبلك في شيع الأولين ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون كذلك نسلكه في قلوب المجرمين لا يؤمنون به وقد خلت سنة الأولين ولو فتحنا عليهم بابا من السماء فظلوا فيه يعرجون لقالوا إنما سكرت أبصارنا بل نحن قوم محرومون. This from 10 to 15 introduction to a new aspect that is needed to be addressed in order to confirm Allah preserve the deen and the Quran and the believers. So Allah said there are a group of men that no matter what you do, they will never believe in this Quran. And that's why Allah deals with them by, when they step off the line, by sending them punishments in this life and the hereafter. But Allah said, this group, no matter what you do, how many proofs and miracles, logic, evidence, signs to bring to them, they will never believe in it. نَسْلُكُهُ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. It is the rejection of the Quran being cultivated, grown in the deepest part of their heart. There is no way you can take it out. And so no matter what you bring to them, it will be the same thing, that they are rejectors. So listen to the translation. That is just the introduction to these people, that Allah will explain to us how He deals with them.
9 through 15?
Yeah. 10.
10.
Yeah, 10 through 15.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Indeed, we sent messengers before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, amongst the sects or communities of old, and never came a messenger to them, but they did mock at him. Thus do we let it, shirk, polytheism, disbelief, enter the hearts of the mujrimun, the polytheists, because of their mocking at the messengers. They would not believe in it, the Quran, and already the example of Allah's punishment of the ancients who disbelief has gone forth. And even if we, Allah, open to them a gate from the heaven, and they were to keep on ascending thereto all the day long, they would surely say in the evening, our eyes have been as if dazzled, bewildered. We have not seen any angel or heaven. Nay, we are people bewitched.
So Allah called them mujrimeen. Basically, the name of them mujrimeen. And because of their ijram, their ijram is manifested in lying. And Allah said, كَذَلِكَ نَسْلُكُ. Lying about the Quran is natural for them. That is how they feel to do their job and fulfillment in this life, just to lie about Quran. And this, the details of them will come later. A specific group called Al-Muqtasimeen. We'll discuss that later. Basically, Allah said, this mujrimun, they have a mechanism to deal with the Quran. And that muqtasimun, they divide their functions in each group or individual, select part of the Quran and try to show, to mark it and to show how it is false. So they divide the roles among them. I'm going to talk about, say, the faith, and I'm going to talk about the hijab, I'm going to talk about pork, I'm going to talk about mixing, I'm going to talk. They divide which part of the Quran they have to deal with it in order to distort it. And the way Allah made it clear, they follow the technique called cut and paste. That's what muqtasimun means, cut and paste. Take one here, put it in a different context and see how it is bad. Wailul lil musallin. And so find contradiction, by the way you do it, you create the context. And then you cut and paste that statement or that word or that phrase in that context, and it appears to the rest of the people as if it is truly a lie. The Quran said so, it's a lie. So basically, that is the group Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to deal with them in this surah, and deal with them in order to preserve, as we said, the Quran and the deed. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ فِي شِيَعِ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَمَا يَأْتِيهِمْ مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. Ever a messengers come to them, their response was to mock him. Now, why you mock someone? Tell me, in general, why you mock someone?
Just to make fun of them.
Huh?
Ridicule.
Huh?
Ridicule.
Why? Right, but what is,
Destroy their credibility, like take away all their.
and also it means you didn't have really strong argument, so you turn it to a mocking. Oh, look how this putting on their head, what they call it?
The turban?
Turban, something else. There is another word about the hijab.
Oh.
What is it? That's worse.
Burqa? Or veil? Or
No. So basically, that's how they put it in a context where it appears really funny. Because they didn't have solid, strong argument. So the only easy way is to make it funny, appears as it is funny, so the people will disrespect it and stay away from it and believe what you can say. That is يستهزئون. Say for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one say he is magician. Okay, so if they see him delivering miracles or any signs, he's magician. That's the way the magician they do. Right. And so Allah telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and us that these mujrimeen, whenever someone comes to invite them, they are going to mock you. And Allah said it is being instilled in their heart because of their ijram. That's the way it is. Allah said, if I am come to open door for them through heavens to go and see by their eyes the miracle and the creation of Allah, still they will say, what? We have been what? Hypnotized. We have been, our sight been not working. Okay? So basically there is no way to deal with them, and that's why Allah has warned us, told us about why they do it and how they do it, what we shall do with them. So that is just the introduction. Now we'll start with the second example Allah put in the surah to show us how He preserve, how He make this preservation. وَلَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا وَزَيَّنَّاهَا لِلنَّاظِرِينَ وَحَفِظْنَاهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ رَجِيمٍ إِلَّا مَنِ اسْتَرَقَ السَّمْعَ فَأَتْبَعَهُ شِهَابٌ مُبِينٌ Okay, we'll stop there. 18, that's one example. So, okay, read the English translation and then we'll just to 18, 16, 17, 18. That is the second example of the preservation.
And indeed, we have put the big stars in the heaven, and we, Allah, beautified it for the beholders. And we, Allah, have guarded it, the near heaven, from every outcast shaitan, devil, except the devil who steals the hearing. Then he is pursued by a clear flaming fire, a shooting star.
All right. Now, the second source of threat of preservation is shaitan. The first one is the mujrimeen. And Allah said, these people mujrimeen, the only way is just to punish them, and the examples will come later. But the second source of threat not to have this deen preserved is shaitan. And the most effective way shaitan can destroy or distort the deen by ascending to heaven and listening to the conversation of the angels who speaks about the future and about things that are going to happen on earth, and take it down and send it to their affiliate as a revelation to empower them to mislead the believers. And this is happening every day, 24 hours. A group of shaitan, that is their job, to ascend all the way as close as possible. They can listen to the angels, and from there steal some of the unseen words and unseen knowledge, take it and reveal it to their chief on earth who can mislead the humanity. And you have heard people saying, what? Last night God told me. Well, which God you are talking about? Okay, and sometimes they say something correct, because it was definitely something was stolen. And the shaitan was able, and as you know, the shaitan, what does it do? Okay, the Prophet ﷺ said, they set a chain. When they ascend to heaven, they stand as a chain, each one on top of the others, until the last one over there grab one word, But he knows the flaming fire is going to follow him, so he in no time pass it to the next one, and the next one pass it to the so, and the flaming shooting star hit the first one. Okay, the word already passed to the second, and shoot the second one, already passed, and basically sometimes they succeed to pass it to the mankind, but they can't take it and go comfortably to the earth and give it to someone. That's how they sit on each other and make a whole column all the way to heaven. If they grab one word, in no time has to pass it to the one next to him, because he knows he's going to be shot. So sometimes they definitely succeed in doing so. So this is an example of preservation. How Allah preserved the faithful people on earth from this misleading, from this criminal, because they are thieves. They go there and steal. It's not their job. It was not meant for them. They try to steal something from heaven in order to mislead people on earth. So that is how Allah said, created heaven and said buruj. Buruj, he said stars. Buruj basically orbits or galaxies. That's what's buruj.
Like constellations.
Constellations, that is buruj. But Allah said they made it in a way it looks so beautiful for someone to look. Shaitan, as we said, has the power to ascend and to travel faster than anything that you can know. Shaitan can travel by the speed of light. Still with that, when they steal something, they cannot run away with it. So they just keep passing it faster, and they know the shooting star is going to get them. And sometimes Allah affirming, sometimes they take some true knowledge and pass it down, and pass it down to one on earth that is going to mislead people. So
is it from the time of the Prophet Muhammad?
no, before that, before the coming of the Prophet ﷺ, they were allowed to go freely to meet with angels and take whatever they want and come back. This shooting starts only when the Quran revealed. So there is nothing else that to preserve the Quran, they cannot go there and get anything else.
But the shooting of star was still there before, but that was not specifically
Right, targeted to this, shooting star all the time. But right now, they are focused on preserving. No one will go there and say, well, this is from the Quran, this is revelation, this is something the angels, as we saw, the angels knows more than what we know. Allah sometimes talk to them, communicate to one another, and if the shaitan able to penetrate their communication channel, can get something, and that something can really make confusion to the Muslims on earth, and sometimes they do, rarely, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So listen to the verse again after all that meeting.
16 through 18.
Yeah.
And indeed, we, Allah, have put the big star, the Buruj, in the heavens, and Allah, we beautified it for the beholders. And we, Allah, have guarded it, the near heaven, from every outcast shayateen, devil.
So outguarded it. He said basically the same word, guard. Allah guard the Quran, and Allah also guard the believers, and Allah guard the deen. Allah guard heaven. Allah guard the unseen world. Okay?
Except him, the devil, or shayateen, who steals the hearing, then the shayateen, he is pursued by a clear flaming fire.
Okay, so that is how, but basically Allah doesn't want them totally to be blocked. If He would, He would. He want them to sometime to take to test the believers. If Allah want them absolutely to get no hold of anything, will prevent them. Just like the shaitan, Allah, if He wants just all good and no evil, Allah will eliminate the shaitan. But as a test for a human being, Allah permits some evil things to happen in order to test the others. That are you sure this is the Quran or this is something not from it? As Allah is going to empower the Dajjal. Well, Allah will give Dajjal power whatever he claims. He say, I'm God, I'm God. And he will do whatever he claims to in order to test the believer. So the verse clearly saying, Allah giving a little room and not preventing them totally, but whenever he wants, they cannot do anything. But that's their part of the shaitan, that is their job. To, basically they are criminal, to steal some secret knowledge from the angels and come down. And one of it is the magic. You know, people who do magic. This is basically a stolen knowledge from the angels and given to the corrupt people on earth to mislead people. So that is the second one. Third one, وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِيَ وَأَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مَوْزُونٍ. That is number 3.
And the earth Allah has spread out and has placed therein firm mountains and caused to grow therein all kinds of things in due proportion.
All right, say that again. Basically, this is our 2, really. Again?
And the earth Allah has spread out and has placed therein firm mountains.
Okay, so the mountain, one way to protect the earth. And then?
And caused to grow therein all kinds of things in due proportion.
In due proportion. That is also the balance. The creation of Allah is balanced. And as you can tell, everybody around screaming that we are disturbing the balance of Allah by this or that. Why the environment is disturbed? Because the balance being disturbed by man actions. Even the bugs, you eliminate them, you get trouble. Trees, forest, whatever you disturb the balance, Allah said, have made everything due proportion. And it has to stay that way, in a way to protect it. In addition to that, as we said, the mountains, to protect the earth. Allah said that is the way He also protects the living on earth. By spreading the earth, make it looks like it is flat, establishing mountains to keep it so balanced that you do not feel whatsoever its motion. Now it is running and rotating. It's running and rotating and oscillating. All kind of motion in fast way. In order for you as a human being not to feel any motion of the earth, has put the mountain on it. And also has made things to grow in balance. So that is 2 of them, the mountains and the balance of the environment and the creation. Number 5, وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشَ وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ لَهُ بِرَازِقِينَ. Verse number 20.
And we, Allah, has provided therein means of living for you and for those whom you provide not.
Right? To protect, to preserve us, Allah has prepared our food. Not only us, and all other creation that we cannot sustain, not ourselves nor there. And that is how, as again we are talking about the protection of Allah, the guard of Allah, the preservation of Allah to His creation, and the things Allah wants, the believers, the human being, and the deen and the Quran. So that's number what?
6.
Number 6, yeah, brother? Or you are not?
You count those 2, the earth and the...
Yeah, the earth is the mountain and the balanced creation. And now also the sustenance also provided. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَّعْلُومٍ.
And there is not a thing, but with us are the stores thereof. And we, Allah, send it not down except in a known measure.
Known بقدر معلوم. Known measure. And that is also how things are balanced. Allah has everything and endless. No limit to what Allah has and can make. But bring it to earth, say, for example, rain or sustenance or punishments or good or bad. Allah send it down according to known measure, not just whatever. And that's why we can tell this hurricane 5, this one 4, because it has been sent in a known measure. And we can also know that, study it and find out exactly how much strength and how much diameters and how much power and so on. So known measures, precise. وأرسلنا الرياح لواقح فأنزلنا من السماء ماء فأسقيناكموه وما أنتم له بخازنين. This is number 7, which is 22.
And we, Allah, send the winds fertilizing to fill heavily the clouds with water, then cause the water rain to descend from the sky, and we, Allah, give it to you to drink, and it is not you who are the owners of its stores.
The owners?
The owner of its stores.
That translation, وَمَا أَنْتُمْ لَهُ بِخَازِنِينَ, you are not the one who can make stores for it. Not the owner. You are the one who need it but cannot make stores for it. Like, how can you store the rain? Okay, and Allah said, you need it, the water to drink and later to do so many other things. I created stores for it, where you can dig well and oceans and all of these. So you cannot even have just, I tell you, this is your sustenance. You need it, okay, store it. We don't have any way. I mean, we can make some, as you know, they say dams, but those dams becoming problems later, environmental problem and hazards, and also even problems of somebody just break the dam and then what happened? I mean, just go blow the wall and then you're going to see what happened. Flood and destroy the whole life. But Allah, in a very peaceful, and also the dams, they become polluted, they need, Allah has created stores, the best stores.
Environmental feature.
Yeah, when you dig to the well and you get the water, what kind of water? Is it polluted? Huh? Is it bad water? No. It is the best. Yeah. Alright, so Allah said, I created those stores for you. You can't. The best you can, we said, you can make what? Those dams, but after a little bit you cannot even drink from them. Like here they have these lakes. But look how, and then if there is no rain, what are you going to put in your lake? You remember when they say, before the rain that came, they say, okay, this Chini Lake is providing the water for Wichita, it is 40% down. And they were going to put strict law in using the water. But now this rain came, it went back up 70%, which is not bad. But okay, you have a lake, what are you going to do into it? If Allah did not send the rain. So that is how Allah preserved His creation. And this is all to deliver us that He preserved also His deen and the believers and the Quran. So that was وَإِنَّا لَنَحْنُ نُحْيِي وَنُمِيتُ وَنَحْنُ الْوَارِثُونَ وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَقْدِمِينَ مِنْكُمْ وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَأْخِرِينَ وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ يَحْشُرُهُمْ إِنَّهُ حَكِيمٌ عَلِيمٌ. This is just transition. Go ahead.
For 23?
Yeah. 23 and 4 and 5.
Inshallah. And certainly And certainly we, Allah, it is who give life and cause death, and we are the inheritors. And indeed, we, Allah, know the first generations of you who have passed away, and indeed, we, Allah, know the present generations of you, mankind, and also those who will come afterwards. And verily, your Rabb will gather them together. Truly, Allah is all-wise, all-knowing.
Okay, now we are going to go to the main problem for preserving the deen of Allah, which is Iblis. And that is, Allah has made a lot of elaboration and explanation to the role of Iblis in leading us astray. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِّنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ وَالْجَانَّ خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي خَالِقٌ بَشَرًا مِّنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِّنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى أَنْ يَكُونَ مَعَ السَّاجِدِينَ قَالَ يَا إِبْلِيسُ مَا لَكَ أَلَّا تَكُونَ مَعَ السَّاجِدِينَ قال لم أكن لأسجد لبشر خلقته من صلصال من حمأ مسنون قال فاخرج منها فإنك رجيم وإن عليك اللعنة إلى يوم الدين. Listen to this first portion of this story.
From 27 to 35?
Yeah.
Inshallah. And the jinn, 26 actually.
Right.
And indeed, we created insane man from dried sounding clay of altered mud, and the jinn we created aforetime from the smokeless flame of fire.
Smokeless flame of fire. Okay, so the creation of jinn is totally different than the creation of men, differently than the creation of angels, differently than other creation that we know and the other ones that we don't know. But here, why Allah has to tell us from where He created men and created jinn? To explain to us why we are vulnerable to be misled. Why we are, by our own nature, can be driven astray. Okay?
And remember when your Rabb, your Lord, said to the Malaika, the angels, I am going to create a man, Adam, from dried sounding clay of altered mud. So when I have fashioned him completely and breathed into him, Adam, the soul which I created for him, then fall you down, prostrating yourself unto him. So the Malaika, the angels, prostrated themselves, all of them together, except Iblis, Shaitan. He refused to be among the prostrators. Allah said, Ya Iblis, Shaitan, what is your reason for not being among the prostrators? Iblis, Shaitan, said, I am not the one to prostrate myself to a human being, whom you created from dry sounding clay of altered mud. Allah said, then get out from here, for verily you are Rajim, an outcast or a cursed one. And verily the curse shall be upon you till the day of recompense, the day of resurrection. Iblis said, Ya Rabbi, O my Lord, give me then respite to the day they, the dead, will be resurrected. That's 36.
Go ahead.
Allah said, then verily you are those reprieved. I give you permission till the day of the time appointed. Iblis, Shaitan said, Ya Rabbi, O my Lord, because you, I'm going to read this, I don't know about translation, but O my Lord, because you misled me, I shall indeed adorn the path of error for them, mankind on the earth, and I shall mislead them all.
What? He is making a vow in front of Allah, saying what?
I shall mislead them all.
Mislead them all. Alright? So we need protection because the shaitan is powerful and can, the way we are and the way he is and the permission given to him, he can. And unless Allah protect us, he can lead us all straight. Okay, so Allah has stated his protection.
Except your chosen guided.
Shaitan knows his limits. And he said, it says at the beginning, I will mislead them all. And then he said, except. Okay?
Except your chosen guided slaves among them.
So Allah replied,
Allah said, this is the way which will lead straight to me. Certainly you should have no authority over my ibad, my slaves.
Say that again. Certainly.
You should have no authority over my ibad, my slaves, except those who follow you of the Gawun, Mushrikun, the polytheists, so on, etc. And surely Jahannam, hell, is the promised place for them all. It, Jahannam, has 7 gates. For each of those gates is a special class of sinners assigned.
All right. So this is another example of a threat to the existence of the Quran, the Deen, and people on the straight path, which is Iblis. And Allah has explained it in detail why we are vulnerable to the effect of shaitan, and how Allah is going to protect some of us who deserve to be protected. So the first statement is we have created insan from a clay, dry clay. And the jinn, we have created them from fire. And then Allah said to the angels, I am to create, once I create Adam, you are to bow to him. Now, here, فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. Once Adam is finished in his creation, and I put the soul in him, bow. قَعُوا, automatically, immediately, instantaneously fell down and bowed to him. قَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. And so this is the group. Everybody was bowing except one standing. Among all this crowd, all were bowing in the same level, and one standing there. And who was? Iblis. أجمعون كلهم إلا إبليس أبى أن يكون. Now Iblis refused to be among, as the translation said, among the Sajideen. Basically, Iblis decided to act alone, to take himself out of the group, out of the ummah, out of the congregation by himself. He refused to join the group, the ummah, the brothers, the congregation, refused to join them. And this is anyone refused to join the ummah, the group, the community, the congregation, he is Iblis. And nowadays, anybody refuse to be part of the ummah, no matter how they are, still that is Iblis, because Iblis distinguished himself and stand still. But that it doesn't mean he is. It's just like, as we say, the congregation. Congregation, we have all kinds of people here. And so you have to join them. If you refused for any reason, really you have then like the shaitan, and also at the same time, it doesn't mean he is an angel. He just refused to be part of the group in doing that action. So إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى أَن يَكُونَ مَعَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Now, here the key is Allah said, do it. This is His order. Supposedly, slaves, His creation, believers, should immediately, as Allah said, do it and bow to it. Not to argue, to hesitate, to questions, to justify, to delay, to blame, all of these. If you respond to the order of Allah in one way of this, hesitate, delay, argue, refuse, reject, blame, you are shaitan. Allah said, do. The only option for me to say, I heard and I am doing it. Sami'na wa I obey it. I heard it and I obey it. That is the right response of the believers. But as you know, many orders of Allah, we just play the game of Iblis with it. Many orders of Allah, we really play the game of Iblis. Allah said, don't eat interests. We play the game with it, just like Iblis. Oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. Well, that's what Iblis said. Allah said, establish salah. Still we have big inheritance from Iblis when we respond to the order of Allah, the clear one. I mean, once you know it, Allah said so, you can, as we said at the beginning, say, I accept, but I'm unable to do it now. That is good. But don't play game of Iblis around it. Okay? You can say, I accept your order, my masters. And I should, maybe I can't, or I'm weak, or something is hindering me. Oh, Allah help me to do it. That is fine. Allah accept from you this. But play the game of Iblis, that is where curse. What Iblis want? He's been cursed and removed from the mercy of Allah eternally. So we get to be serious about the order of Allah. Really serious. You know it, this is the order of Allah. Always say, I can't do it now. There is something hindering me. My iman weak. Environment is bad. But I accept this order. That is the way a believer should respond to the command of Allah. Not playing the game of Iblis. Oh, look, listen what Iblis said. قال لم أكن لأسجد لبشر خلقته من صلصال من حمأ مسنون. I am by my nature, by my origin, by my knowledge, by my creation, by my own uniqueness and excellence, I can't bow to this someone who was made out of clay. Alright? The difference is very little. He is basically disobeying, rejecting, and not only that, arguing. Where argument is not allowed. This is Allah. Why you argue with Allah? You can argue with something else, but this is not the place to argue. And so